Okay, anyways, let's start talking around all the basics. Let's just talk about them, the EX basics that have all been released. Let's talk about them now because they're probably the more anticipated cards from the set. First one, Shaman EX.
I really like Shaman EX. I think a lot of people will be playing, probably no more than one, but still it's going to be a really powerful card because it can one-shot any EX that doesn't have an EV light with it at the end of the game.
Yeah, as long as they've taken five prize cards.
Yeah.
It's really good if you're losing an exchange and they have one prize left and you have two. Then you can Revenge Blast for 180 on an EX.
The thing is, they can't really play around this either. Unless they're playing something like Chandler or Sprint, there's no way to play around taking your fifth prize.
And with something like Celebi, you can surprise drop it.
Yeah.
Late game, so they won't see it coming.
Yeah. The first attack is not really good. With 110 HP and a ×2 weakness that gives up 2 prizes, I don't see... Yeah.
It's okay if you start with it, like it's better than nothing, but you don't want to start with this.
Yeah, that's just a liability at that point.
Okay. Yeah, you basically don't want to bench this until you're going to take your last prize or 2 prizes, because your opponent will catch her and take 2 prizes.
Unless you can sweep the sit.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Unless you have prizes set up with it.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. How about Reshiram EX?
I'm not sure what to think of Reshiram EX.
I do not like flips.
So I don't really like it.
It's not really the flip that kills it for me, it's the 4 energy against a card we're going to talk about in a bit.
Called Mewtwo.
Yeah. The 50 plus the 4 energy on it already, plus the 20 on Mewtwo is what, 150? No, it's 120, so yeah, that's 10 short of one-shotting this thing. And I'm sure they'll be able to find the 3rd energy.
Or a plus power.
I don't think it's bad, though. I think if you're playing Embor or Reshibor, if you're still playing that for some reason, the ability to hit 150 without using lightning energies is going to be pretty good, and I can see there's a one-of in those Embor decks that I'm talking about.
I'd be pretty careful about using it, though.
Yeah.
It's really open to Mewtwo.
You're going to have to be careful using all these EXs.
Yeah. That's one thing about EXs I like, that you can't just, like, randomly play it and start, like, smashing everyone. Like, if you don't play smart, you're just going to die because they're a huge liability sometimes.
I've seen people that they just bench the EXs for no reason. I'm just like, that's easy catcher bait. I'm going to take a 2-prize lead. So you're going to have to be careful.
Especially Mewtwo.
Especially Mewtwo, yeah.
It's definitely.
Okay.
Mewtwo and Shaman are definitely,
Yeah, they're the easy EXs to get rid of.
They can be fragile. Yeah.
Yes, anyways, let's talk about Kyurem EX.
Unfortunately, this is probably the worst EX.
I think it's pretty good in trainer lock decks like Ross.
I don't understand why this is the only EX that has a limitation on it, in that it can't use Hail Blizzard twice in a row.
Yeah, well,
it's the only thing that really has that much of a holdback.
And it's not like Hail Blizzard's better anyway.
EX's side drive
is 3
energy for 120, and it's only discard energy, while Hail Blizzard is 120 for 4 energy, and you can't use it next turn.
Maybe the water type, maybe that makes it, I don't know.
Yeah, but water, what does water really hit other than Typhlosion or Reshiram?
Yeah, Typhlosion or Reshiram, like isn't that a big enough threat to hit?
Then you hit them, and then they send up another Reshiram to do 120 to you, and then you can't attack, and then they 120 you again and kill you.
Well, one thing is that it's just Hail Blizzard, so you can still Frozen Wings.
Yeah, but that's only 120 with weakness.
I think it's good attack.
No.
Yeah, okay. But
it's slightly better, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Frozen Wings is pretty good against Mewtwo, so because you can just
only in trainer lock though.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Overall, just an underwhelming card for an EX. But how about Zekrom EX?
I want to say the 3rd best EX behind Shaman and of course Mewtwo. Strong Volt is really powerful in electric decks, but you get to an issue on what you discard, because if you discard 2 lightning, then you're probably not going to be able to use an attack next turn because your opponent will probably Lost Remover but you can get those energy back with the electric. And discarding a DCE was never that good unless you were using it to Dragon Rush.
The exceptions are if you have 4 lightning energy on it.
Yeah.
Then it obviously doesn't matter. Or if you have switch, then you discard the lightnings because then you can switch.
Yeah. I think it's just strong because you can like attack with it and then attach a DCE and then attack with it again. And then maybe even a third time if you're lucky.
If you can hit those.
Yeah, if you can hit those, but
it's really good in basically any deck that plays heal. I play one of.
yeah.
I think this would be stronger in a Magnezone-based electric deck rather than not on its own, but in just a regular Stage 1 or Lantern or Zekrom or something electric deck. Just because you have the ability to get around N, which makes hitting that extra DC a lot easier.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, that card seems solid overall. How about Regigigas CX?
I like this. I like it as a card. I don't like that it's all. Well, I like that it's all colorless, but I don't like that you need DCE powered up because Lost Remover is going to be really powerful.
I don't really like it because Trachion's going to be really popular, and if you knock them out, Trachion hits you for 2 prizes.
Well, that's where you put an Eviolite on it.
You can plus power.
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah. I just like this, like the artwork on it. It's like all rainbows in the background. It's like psychedelic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Just pointing out.
It might be okay in Trainer Lock, I guess.
But then you
I don't really think so though, because Raging Hammer, while it may look really good, but if you get that much damage on it, it's gonna be a free 2 prizes for your opponent.
well, that's why you run it with Reuniclus.
Okay, well, if you get the damage on Regigigas and you attack this Raging Hammer, going into their turn, you still have all the damage on you.
I could see this being really powerful with N in a Reuniclus Vileplume deck.
Maybe.
Because you're limiting their options to hit you back, and you can always just Raging Hammer them back for a lot of damage.
The other one is in an aggro deck, like Celebi Mewtwo.
Yeah, because it's an all-colorless attacker.
You can, with Giga Power and an Eviolite, you basically do 80 on a 180 HP Pokemon with Eviolite.
That's not better than Tornadus, though.
No, because Tornadus conserves energy and only gives up 1 prize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying it's an option.
I think it'd be worth picking up one of these.
Yeah, most of these EXs are just worth picking up because, well, they're EXs.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, let's stop talking about it without really actually talking about it. Let's talk about Mewtwo EX, probably the most anticipated card in this set. Most hyped for a long time now.
The bread and butter of this deck.
What's the Mewtwo?
Yeah. People have been hyping Mewtwo for a while. I think since we've seen it in August, it's been hyped.
Yeah, it's been performing well in Japan. So
Well, I never trust those Japanese results.
I believe it was the first Mewtwo EX revealed to us, right?
It was, yeah.
yeah, that was like the poster card of the set in Japan.
Yeah, and then yeah, it's just really good. The only problem is it says weak to itself. So
it
you have to be
counters
really
itself.
careful.
Then it kind of feeds on itself that like it counters itself, so more people play it so they can counter it and.
Yeah.
It's really weird Mewtwo because if you attack with Mewtwo, they'll most likely get a return kill with their Mewtwo.
Well, that almost balances it because what is going to KO this if it's not weak to itself?
Yeah, I know.
And then it sits there and takes 2 or more prizes.
Yeah, it's the best card in the format if they don't have Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can eliminate their Mewtwo somehow.
Or they just can't afford it, and they don't play with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Mewtwo and Tropical Beach, so that'll be fun.
Just show off.
It would
And
be
like
a
victory
spoiled little
medals.
rich kid.
But,
Full art Mewtwo as well. Let's try that out.
and shiny catchers when they come out.
Yeah, 4 Beach, 4 Mewtwo.
Do it.
Shiny catchers when they come
4
out.
shiny Chandler.
Oh
That
my
as
god.
well, and
Yes.
4 Zoroark, 4 Hydreigon, 4 Emboar,
Yep.
It's a deck.
Okay.
No, in all seriousness, yeah, it's Mewtwo's just going to be a very strong card.
Yeah.
It's already was it pre-ordered at 70?
Yeah, something like that. That's
Yeah.
for the normal one. What's the full art
Yeah, the
pre-ordering
full
at?
arts are going to be
Full art's
pushing.
80.
80?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's... I mean, there's so many things that combo. It combos with Celebi, it combos with Gardevoir, but apparently that's not
You
good.
pull one of these, do not trade it away.
Yeah.
Basically, almost every deck other than Durant will play at least one Mewtwo.
I could see Duran even playing this.
That's a bit far-fetched.
Because
But
if you... I mean, I doubt an opponent will stack energy, but one of the things to do if you're playing a Mewtwo deck against Durant is just to get a Mewtwo with as many energy as you can.
Yeah, the only thing is that then you have to play DC, otherwise you can't surprise drop it. And then you...
You could run Energy Switch. I could see that being useful in Durant.
Mhm.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, you're going to end up twinsing for it anyway, so...
I don't know. Bottom line, Mewtwo's a really good card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. Okay, that's all the EXs. I mean, just a side note, I just want to say, like, all the EXs have really good art. The full art EXs.
Yeah, even the regular EXs have really good art.
Yeah. But I really like the full art EXs.
The full arts look amazing, though. Especially, for me, it's Shaman and Mewtwo.
Zekrom looks okay, too. Kind of looks like the... What's it
I
called?
like Gigas' art.
Yeah.
I don't like Kyurem and Gigas. I think it's the way they did them in Japan. Because you can see similarities between Shaman and Mewtwo and then Gigas and Kyurem.
Reshiram and Zekrom, those weren't made in Japan, right? Those were...
They're making them in Japan.
But they're not out yet, though.
I think we are the first ones to get.
We're gonna get them first.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing, but...
I also
Yeah.
like that art, too.
The full art Zekrom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Reshiram as much, but still. What else is there? There's
something
also...
I want to touch up on is the pull rate of these full arts. These
it's-
they're full arts.
It's bad.
Oh my god.
The reports are currently saying that you'll usually get 2 full arts and 2 regular EXs, or you will get 2 EXs, 1 full art, and 1 secret rare. As it is
And the
right
secret
now.
rares are...
They're 2 per case, right?
yeah, 1 per 3 boxes.
Yeah. So it's
As it
0.3
is right
per
now,
box.
That's really, really unfortunate for a lot of players right now because Mewtwo's are very expensive and they'll be the focal point of the format.
Yep.
I mean, I really want to criticize the company for doing this, but at the same time, the last couple of sets they've done a really good job with getting us cards we need, like Terrakion, the full art Musketeers, which were a big part of like Noble Victories. They were very cheap. You could get them as holo versions.
Yeah, that was the thing. You could get like a non-expensive version if you need it, but this one, the non-expensive version, is still fairly expensive.
Yeah. Ever since the black and white set on, most of the cards were really cheap. The only big thing was Catcher, and even that was only $10.
That was only $10.
Yeah, and that was like
And
yeah.
you could just play Trainer Lock and not have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean-
but now the increase is really, really steep with $80 Mewtwo's.
Yeah.
Young Vegas used to be worth a lot,
But
but
that wasn't like because they
Well, I
released
don't
it
know
as a
why that was
card.
worth a lot because there was a lot of them in circulation. It's probably because you needed.
it's probably because
The only reason it was 70 at the first place was because of Nationals.
Yeah.
It's been known that during Nationals, cards spike up in price because people need them.
It was mainly during the Nationals and Worlds era, and those are like the 2 biggest competitions. So if you need cards, you'll pay whatever you need to get them.
Yeah.
And usually the people who go to Nationals and Worlds are usually in it to win it, so they'll be willing to spend money if they have an opportunity to win with said cards.
Yeah.
well, the other thing is that when Triumphant came out, Yamega was trash. So then people were like, "Oh well, it's just another bad prime. I can give it away or whatever. It's $5." And then it got really good, and then nobody had them. So yeah.
Well, there was one guy who probably had like 20 or 30.
Yeah, there's always that one guy who's just hoarding it.
Well, the thing with Triumphant was that honestly every card had like its moment, except I would
Every
say
prime did everything else was more or less trash.
Yeah, that was a good set
Trainers and
actually.
Primes.
Yeah, Junk Arms, Twins.
Yeah, that's why I said the
Were, like-
trainers and the primes. Like, I'm looking, like, I remember opening packs for that set, and I'm just like, oh, I just got 10 cards of garbage. but this is such a good set, or everyone says it's such a good set. But
Like,
then
it's
you
worth
look and
it,
you're
though.
like, oh, well, unless I pull a prime, which is like 1 per 6 packs, then I didn't really get that good of a pull.
Or a trainer.
Yeah. Anyways,
trainer,
like, I
yeah.
want to talk about, like, the last things in this set really are the shinies, which, like we said, they're only 2 per case, but aren't they awesome?
And they're reprints too, so it's not like they're necessary for you to have them.
Yeah.
But they are. Thank you for printing those.
Like, I like how they, like, 3 of the cards that are shinies, they're cards that are actually, like, good in formats. I mean,
yeah, Hydreigon is really dropping the ball here because
yeah,
it's horrible.
they should have made it, like, I don't even know what they should have made it, but
Well, like, it could be playable.
it could be.
It
Like,
could be in a later format, but I just don't see it right now.
It's not good right now, but, like, it could be eventually, or it could have been playable.
yeah, but, like, Chandelure, Emboar, and, like, Zork, those were all cards that were playable. Like, they could have just made that one, like, I don't know, Cincino or something that was at least, like, fringe playable.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I think the theme is that they're going for one from each. In Japan, these are two. This next Destinies is 2 different sets, so it would be 1 from each previous set.
yeah.
So it would have to be something from Noble Victories.
I guess.